Hello. Welcome back. Marietta back with another video. Y'all know I want to talk about the housing crisis. I want to talk about the housing crisis. Why? Because the housing crisis is something that we need to have on the forefront of our mind, because there's so many people are without a home right now, and there's no affordable homes for people to get into, being by the rate is so high and so expensive to be able to get a place. The interest rates are very high and people are really suffering right now. The job loss, the high interest, the high insurance, the tariffs, everything that's coming down on the American people is being crushed. We're being crushed under the pressure of where are we going to live. And I've said it before, people are not made to live outdoors. Everybody don't want to live outdoors like Daniel Boone. You got some people that actually have never lived outdoors, never lived in a tent, don't know nothing about starting a fire. And when you ask them to start their lives without a roof over their head and not without the things that they're used to, and to be able to have a decent life, it's just humane for people to have to be forced to the street the way that people are being forced to the street today. And I mean working class peoples, middle class people that have already made it, already went to school, already got their degrees, already have put in their time, already have been good productive citizens, but yet and still they're getting forced to the street and being crushed under this economy the way the economy is. Hold on 1 minute. One of my viewers, my subscribers, had post something, and it really struck me and it really hit me hard to know that we're living like this right now in 2025, and it's making it even harder for people to find a place to live. Young lady by the name, she goes by the name of Victorian Melody 46. Victorian Melody 46, she posted, here in Nashville, a studio one bedroom starts at $1,700 a month. You have to make 3 times the rent a month to qualify. You also need $1,700 for deposit, $250 cleaning fee, and $100 credit check, a credit score of 750 or above, and no criminal history, no evictions, good work history. You have to have utilities with deposit in your own name. You also have to have a bedroom for each child or roommate, and they have to pass the same lease qualifications. This is for a 1-bedroom studio, average 2 bedrooms starting at $2,400. I think homelessness is going to skyrocket. Wages are not keeping up with rent and utilities. Thank you, Victorian Melody 46. And you know what she said in this video, in this text that she put in the comments, she is really telling the truth. And it's a shame that the American people cannot get a place to live due to the fact that you don't make 3 times the rent. I know this is not everywhere. So because of that, I would like for y'all, type it in the comments. What does it take to rent something in your area, if you don't mind giving state and where you are, so that we can actually get an idea of when and if people decide they want to relocate, they'll have something to go by and start doing your homework about what it's going to cost you to relocate, how much you're going to have to pay for rent. Are you going to need 3 times the rent? Are you going to be able to have to pay all these high fees in order to get into the place? And then your deposits and all of that, what are they going to be? A lot of people don't factor all this into when they decide to move. But right now, the way the economy is, it's very hard for people to get into a place because of this, and because if they have been laid off, or because if they have just recently lost their job, or if you have evictions, then that means you cannot even qualify for a place, because you have to be making 3 times the income. And then if you want to get a roommate, that roommate has to be making 3 times the income. So that means you got to have you got to have a perfect credit score to start with, and then you got to be making enough money to be able to survive in this market. That will disqualify a lot of folks. A lot of folks will be disqualified from that type of application fee, to be putting in fees, applications of that magnitude. They would not be able to do it. So instead of that being affordable housing, that sounds like unaffordable housing, because it's unaffordable, unreachable, and it's a goal that is hard for the average person to make in this economy. Right now, people are not just trying to give every dime up for rent and to be house poor and to be living on oodles and noodles of hot dogs for the rest of their life and sitting in an apartment with nothing in it just so that they can say they have a place. People don't want to just continue to keep struggling. They don't want to just keep surviving. They want to live. People want to be able to put their shoulders down and rest. People want to be able to not move with anxiety and stress and depression for the rest of their life. But as it stands right now, type it in the comments. Where do you think this country is going? Do you believe that there's going to be any way that we as American people can actually go and get a house to live in, to be able to make sure that our grandchildren are going to be safe, make sure our great-grandchildren are going to be safe? What does this mean for the graduating class that's coming in for 2025? What do they have to look forward to? Why is it that they should stay in school and work all the rest of their life and not be able to own or have anything? I even thought about the 50, I seen where they were talking about a 50-year mortgage. A 50-year mortgage. As an older person with a 50-year mortgage, let's be realistic. Let's just be realistic. Is a person 30 going to be able to buy a house with a 50-year mortgage and they'll never pay it off, because by then they'll be 80 still paying a mortgage? How much is that going to benefit them to be paying high interest for longer periods of time, and for the bank to be collecting and taking all their money because they're getting a lot in interest, but yet the people that are buying the place, what do they get? Type this in the comments. Where do you see this would benefit you to go buy a house at 30 years old? Say you get a 5% or 4% or a 6% interest rate. Now you got to pay for the house 50 years. You may not be able to pay that extra. I know some of you might say, well, if they pay on it extra, where's the extra coming from in this economy? People are not even making enough money to even live right now. You might get one or two that might have that extra. You might get one or two that might have somebody to help them along the way. But when you start talking about the average 30-year-old in this economy, they're not prepared to buy a house at that age. Sometimes it take you up to 40. And okay, if you get the house at 40, then now you got to go 50 years. That's 90. So really, truly, all in all, to me, and I may be wrong, type your opinion in the comment, but this is my opinion, that 50-year mortgage would set you up for failure. It's going to set you up to pay longer. It's going to set you up to keep you in the same spot. It's going to set you up to be broke. And it's going to set you up for the banks to be made rich while you get poorer, while you get broke. And God forbid, if you have a problem in the midst of you paying that mortgage, now you're going to end up losing it all, everything. I don't know. It just seemed like it's a lot for me to wrap my head around, maybe because I'm a lot older and I've been through a lot and I see a lot of things that go on where finances are concerned. So, and I've been through the place where your life gets abruptly interrupted with things that you did not plan that could cause your whole life to be derailed overnight. And then there you go. You stuck with a 40-year mortgage. Even though my life got derailed, I was able to find bankruptcy at a cheaper rate because I didn't have all that overhead. And you do the math on this situation, and I'm not going to do the math for you. You do the math on that situation before you go get that 50-year mortgage. Make sure you read all the small print. Make sure you see exactly what you're signing. And least of all, make sure your health is good and you're able and your job is stable. Where's the stability in a job here right now in this economy? Whose job is stable? Whose job is safe? The housing market, y'all. The housing crisis is going to get worse. And then my mind got to thinking, we're going to get through the holidays. Oh, we're going to get through the holidays, but it's hard for you to get through the holidays when you got all the weight of wondering if your family's going to have a roof over their head at the end of the holiday. If you buy one potato chip, you buy one piece of chicken more than what you can afford by January 1st, you will be wondering if you're going to make it, because the sweat of not knowing what's going to happen January 30th, when them boys go back to the round table, when they decide they don't want to play nicely, and just say we go back into a government shutdown, and now you're broke again. Now you're stressed out again. Or say we don't go into a government shutdown, and they make a decision, and all of a sudden that decision is to cut off your food stamp. That decision is to cut off your Section 8. That decision is to cut off the Medicaid. That decision is it all could go wrong so many ways. Are you prepared? Are you ready for whatever the situation is? So that means whatever little bit of money you got right now, wherever you are living at right now, whatever way you are paying your bills right now, I suggest you stay put. Stay put, beloved. Stay put. Unless you got a surefire way of making a change, making a move, ready for whatever, stay put. Stay put. Stay put. Find you some like-minded people. I keep saying it over and over again. Find your tribe. Find your tribe. You need to team up with some folks. Some of you might got some extra bedrooms that you want to put some like-minded people in, some friends in, some that really going to have your back. Some of y'all that actually see. But see, a lot of people don't see what you might see. Do you know how many people have told me that they don't see what I see, but yet and still the things that I'm letting them know are happening just the way I said they're going to happen? Because see, some people only can see what's in front of them. When you're dealing with people that can see in the spirit, and you're dealing with people with spiritual vision, and you can dealing with people to let you know that you better prepare yourself, because what's getting ready to happen in 2026, you think you danced with the devil in 2025, you think that you was caught off guard in 2025, you think that everything that happened every single month in 2025 is going to go away because the month done changed, then you are really living under a rock. You're really living in a bubble. You better understand that your bubble get ready to get burst, your rock get ready to get turned over, because there's going to be fire that's going to come in 2026. The devil's going to turn up the heat, and you better be ready. You better be ready. You better be ready, because you may not understand what's going on, but you're going to have to move right along with it. This is why I'm trying to say this like this, that the housing crisis is really, really, really something that you should be thinking about, that you really need to think about. And you need to think about what your next move is going to be. If you already know you're going to have to move soon, if you already know you cannot stay where you are, if you already know you got a landlord who's raising the rent every chance he get, if you already know that that place could be put up for sale, if you already know that you're already caught in the crossfire of what could be, and there could be a change in your living conditions, it's time for you to actually start making some decisions right now. Don't wait until the decision is made for you. Don't wait until the last minute and you look up and you get a letter from your landlord saying we're going up on the rent $500, because as it is going to be open season on the people come 2026, this ain't to scare nobody, it's preparation. I don't do scare tactics. I do not scare tactics. I do life and I do revelation. So you better be ready for what is to come, and make sure that you understand that you have to be ready to fend for yourself, because you're being left out here and nobody's coming to save you. I've been there. I've been down that road and nobody came to save me. Nobody came to save me. I wish somebody had gave me a scare tactic and that's all it was. No, it was reality. It was reality, and I had to live it, and I had to go through it. I had to go through it. And ain't to say nobody's safe now. I don't care if you own your home. We ain't safe either. Not at the rate that these property taxes are being raised. Not at the rate of the insurance going up. We not safe either. It could be, I could be one of the ones that you meet out there on the street all over again. So let's think about the things of what we can say and what we can do and how we can be sympathetic to everybody's situation. And let's drop some things in the comments, such as if you're living, whatever state you're living in, if you understand how the rent and how the housing market is moving over there, as far as renting. How is it over there? How is it wherever you are? What prices are y'all paying? Are y'all paying 3 times the rent? Is it easier to find a place? I mean, sometimes we just got to come to a place where we got to share amongst ourselves, because it's just like saying, if you pick up the news, they'll say we don't have no inflation. You look around, they'll say we're not in a recession, this, that, and the other thing. But yet and still, we see it. You got eyes, you can see. They don't have to tell you what's going on. You see what's going on. You ain't never seen this many people out of work. Over what? 150, 200,000 people out of work in 1 month. 300,000 women fired from their jobs all in 1 month. I mean, you got to look at the fact. How many 42,000 people let go from Amazon? Come on. All these people being let go. AI coming in to take over. You see that there's a difference. You see that there's a change. The news don't have to tell you that. The news does not have to tell you that for you to have eyes, for you to have see. So those that have eyes, those that have ears to hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. Hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying in this hour. Because preparation is everything. The housing crisis is real. The housing crisis is real. And as we come into 2026, as they begin to send these letters out that they promised they would be sending out for Section 8, which is going to put, God knows, so many, 300,000 people on Section 8 or more, going to put them out of their homes, out of their housing. Sad part about it is a lot of those are going to be children that are going to be displaced, mothers not knowing which way to go with their children, mothers that have never really been taught to live outside of the system, never lived in market rent, can't afford to pay market rent because they can't afford to pay the rent where they are now, don't have the means, don't have the income, don't have the family support. What do they do? What do they do? So let's begin to start a conversation, see if we can get in the comments. Let people know what rent is in your area. Give people some insight. I'm sure people can do their own research, but some people just don't even know how to do that. Some people are not in a place where they can do their own research, or that they know how to handle themselves where it comes to talking to people. Maybe there are some things that you might can say in the comments that can help somebody be able to move to their next destination, or to be able to move in such a way where they understand that this is not no game, that this is real. We don't want to wait until the day that these people start getting thrown out the street. Now we got massive people in the street. We got massive homelessness all over the place. We got massive people on the lines screaming and crying, don't know where to go. Women outside with children, no baby daddies around to help them out. I mean, it can be a mess. This can go so many ways and go wrong in so many situations. And this is why it's good to talk about it, why we can talk about it calmly, why we can talk about it respectfully, why we can share and bounce ideas off of each other. It is so wonderful to have a safe place, a space where people that may be going through this can tap in, and they can also say what they feel, what they need, what do they how their family's treating them. Do they think they're going to have a place to go if that was to happen? What would you do if Section 8 was to end right to this day? What would you do if your landlord, and you may not be on Section 8, if your landlord raised your rent $300 and $400 and $500? Would you be able to pay that? Would you be displaced? Would you be able to afford to get into somewhere else at 3 times the rent? This is a conversation that we can have, and we can have it in a safe environment. And this is a safe place for us to have that conversation. And I pray that you feel that this is a safe place for you to be able to vent and get these things off of your mind. And maybe there'll be some people that can come in the comments, some landlords that still have the heart for the people. They still have to make money. Yes, we understand that. We understand that landlords have bills and they have to make money too, but you also got some that are just greedy. I've even met some that actually own their places that are not price gouging the people, and they're keeping the rent where it's affordable just to keep people in the places, and they already own their places and they don't have to go sky high in order to have somebody in them. There are some people out there that still have a heart. Y'all got to understand that if y'all don't have these conversations, closed mouths will not get fed. This is why I feel as though that when we have these conversations, it means a lot. It opens up a lot of doors. So many people have been blessed through these conversations. And when you give people a safe place to be able to vent, it means a lot, because some people stay quiet because they're afraid to speak. Some people stay quiet because they've never been given a voice. Some people stay quiet because of the fact that nobody never wanted to hear what they have to say. Well, I come to tell you, on the day, we want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to know where I can pray for you, where I can war in the spirit, because right about now prayer is what's needed in the land, and we need some prayer warriors to war in these areas, especially the one of homelessness, where the people are being thrown to the street as if their lives do not matter, as if they should not even be able to dream again, or be able to wonder not why can't have that good home or that beautiful home. I don't want you to feel like your ending is in somebody's shed, in somebody's woods. I don't want you to feel like your ending is you would never be able to have nothing nice, because the Bible says we have not because we ask not. So therefore, it's time for us to be putting ourselves out here and to be able to let people know that we're afraid of this situation. If we're afraid of living outdoors, say that. If you know you're not going to be able to rent a house, say that. If you know that you're getting ready to lose your house, say that. Why? Because when we speak things out into the atmosphere, and then we begin to change the way we speak, and we begin to change our mindset, and we start to brainstorm, and we start to bring up solutions, not just the problem, but we want to talk about what solutions that we can do to be able to help one another. So as you bring your comments, and as you see comments, if you have a solution for someone, please be mindful of the fact that, we all have a right to speak, and be mindful of how we speak in the comments. And let's be sympathetic to everybody's story, because that's just that. Everybody's story is just their story. It may not be the way you want it to be. It may not go the way you think it should go. But if that's their testimony, that's their testimony. And if there's somewhere where you would want to live, maybe you might be living in California, you want to move to New York. You can tell us why you want to move to New York. What's going on in New York that you feel as though they can help you once you get to New York? Is there family there? Is there a job there? There's a lot of things. Is it just the fact of relocating? There's a lot of conversation to be had here, but the housing crisis is on the table, and the housing crisis is real. The housing crisis is not getting any better. People are still not being able to rent houses. As y'all heard what I read from the beginning, the message that Victoria left, she's letting us know that you got to have 3 times the rent to even get into places, and how expensive a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom. 1-bedroom, I think it was $1,700. 2-bedroom, $2,400. You got to have 3 times the rent. Then if you move somebody in, they also got to have 3 times the rent. So that's a lot of money. We're talking a lot of money that the American people do not have right now because people are losing jobs. People cannot afford to pay this type of money to get into a place. So therefore, instead of us having affordable housing, we're still dealing with unaffordable housing, and we're still dealing with housing that's out of our reach. We're still dealing with the nightmare of thinking that we got to sleep in our cars, and then we're still dealing with the fact of, oh, we ain't gonna talk about the repossession of those. We're gonna go to do that on another video because so many of those are getting repossessed as well. So we'll talk about that on another video. But right now, we want to talk about the housing crisis. The housing crisis. Is there a housing crisis in your area? I have been looking around online in different areas, and I don't see no affordable housing nowhere. People are actually, the investors are buying up all the housing that's affordable, the single family homes. I don't see hardly any of them out there that's affordable for the people to get today. And with the job layoffs, we really may have to do your homework. You really have to do your homework, and you really have to really figure out exactly what's going to happen if the Section 8 program closes, or if your landlord starts to raise your rent when 2026 come in. There's going to be some changes, and they're going to be life-changing changes for everybody. And I don't care, you might say, well, it's not going to be for me because I'm not on Section 8. But if you have a heart, and you have a heart in you anywhere, I am my brother's keeper. And what happens to the American people, you got to be in a place where you could at least pray for them. May not be you today. Hear me very well. That may not be your situation, but you don't know what your situation be. It may not be you today, but be careful how you put your mouth on God's people. So with that being said, I want y'all to know I love y'all. I will continue to pray. Fasting is a good way to get things done. And so, you have been watching to the end, and you're not subscribed to the channel. There are so many people that are watching that are not subscribed. I want y'all to know that we uplift, motivate, and inspire, and we do take on some tough conversation over here, but we also leave a safe place for people to be able to vent, for people to be able to speak their mind, for people to be able to say what they feel, and if they have any solutions, any advice to give to the people, we leave room for that as well. So and so you're not subscribed to the channel, we would love to have you over here. And if you have not turned your notification bells on, please turn your notification bells on at this time so you will be notified when I drop my next video. The housing crisis is real, and the housing crisis is really something that is constantly on the minds of the American people, because we may not know where we're going to lay our head in the morning. So with that being said, I also want to thank each and every person that thought it wasn't robbery to send super thanks PayPal to this channel, Cash App. I just not PayPal, I have Cash App, and I just want to thank each and every person that thought it not robbery to support the channel. So I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. Enjoy your rest of your Saturday. It's beautiful outside. As y'all can see, I'm outside, y'all. I'm outside. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'll talk to you soon.